YouTube vinyl community, Beatles fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and this one has been a long time coming. It's been like 2 weeks since it came out. But the Beatles Anthology, Anthology 4. This has been out for a couple of weeks now. I'm sure you've read reviews. I'm sure you've watched reviews. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about this thing, and my initial reaction to it was slightly, but I wanted to live with it for a while, see how I felt about it in a couple of weeks, and not just do a knee-jerk reaction video. Absolutely, it's okay to have first impressions and be like, I don't know, or I love this. That rules, of course. But like, for this one, because this was receiving such heat, I wanted to live with it for a little bit and make my own opinion about it, and not just go with what everybody else was saying, because that's lame and that's boring. Please have critical thinking. We're losing that rapidly. And so, after a couple of weeks of living with this thing and playing it pretty much nonstop, I have a lot to say about it. Overall, I really like it. Now, that being said, there are a couple of things I would change here and there. Let's start with the positive. We'll work into the negative. So, positive things. It's a new Beatles CD. How cool is that? It's Anthology 4. I was there as a kid when the first 3 anthologies came out, watching it on TV. I was really little, but like, I just remember feeling like this was an important moment. This was something special. The way it was presented was like, wow, this is really cool. The music on those CDs was foundational for a lot of us, but specifically for me, just because I'm making this video. Without those CDs and without learning about the Beatles and a bunch of other bands at that time, I wouldn't be who I am today. But those CDs told a story. The first CD had these great interview clips and live performances, and it really wrapped you up to become a story that you were involved with. And then as you got deeper into their discography, you felt like you knew the guys before this thing, or as this thing was done. You felt like you had a sense of who they were as people, the music they were creating, and you were on this incredible journey with them. Now here we are 30 years later, I'm holding Anthology 4, and this is more of an overview of their entire career. So it's almost like, should they have called it something else, like Anthology, additional Anthology, or roundups or something, or extra scraps, or extra pieces? Anthology 4 is kind of a weird name, but I get it. It just wraps into the whole thing of it, which is fine. My favorite bits on this record are obviously the ones that we haven't heard yet, which is about 13 new songs out of the almost 50 songs on here. Pretty much all of CD2, not all of it, but a lot of CD2 stuff that we've already heard before. But I Need You is an incredible take of this track that's super upbeat and joyous and peppy and very Birds-like, with that tambourine, the jangly guitars, a much different version that would have become the song we all know from Help. I love hearing them do In My Life as a really early take. This version of Nowhere Man is fantastic, just the instrumental. Got to Get You Into My Life. Can't go wrong with that. I'll always love that song. Strawberry Fields Forever is a bit sped up, which is wonderful. She's Leaving Home, beautiful instrumental. Baby You're a Rich Man is one of my favorite moments on this record. Hearing them work out this song that famously they've always talked about being too stoned to work on, or they would do takes of it and be stoked on it, come back the next day and be like, oh, it wasn't that great. Hearing this early version of it is fascinating. The rehearsal of All You Need Is Love, same deal. This was about the day before they were going to be on TV. The I Am the Walrus orchestra is one of the wackiest things I've ever heard. It's an incredible piece of music on its own, let alone blended in with the rest of the guys playing. Early on in the set, I forgot to mention Tell Me Why, If I Fell, Every Little Thing. There are moments where you hear them just work out the magic, and it's such a fascinating experience to listen to, and it really gets you hyped up for what's going to come with these deluxe albums going off into the future, which hopefully will continue throughout as they go backwards towards Please Please Me. I really hope there's more in the can, because I really feel like this album is a teaser, a taste of what's to come for those deluxe editions. Why put everything good on this album when they would buy one CD when they can buy the rest of the discography? It's money-making 101. As for disc 2, the instrumental of Hey Bulldog is fantastic. It's my favorite version of Good Night, with the guys doing the background vocals and the guitar. It's a really beautiful version of that song. And then you get to the rest of the stuff we've heard before throughout the rest of the record, until you get to my negatives. Free as a Bird and Real Love have, on this version, been remixed, remastered, whatever you want to call it, with a slightly different vocal take from John, and it completely erases the ghostly quality his voice had on the original versions of these songs from 1 and 2. What made those songs so special and so unique and like you were part of something special was when you heard these songs, it felt like the Beatles were playing with John, who was in a different dimension, heaven, if you will, singing from above. Obviously, it was coming from an old cassette tape, but that old cassette tape gave the songs this ghostly, ethereal atmosphere. And that was a massive draw to the track because it felt like you were hearing something from the past, which it was, but also mixed with something new at the same time. And that blending of eras and ideas and feelings and emotions, nostalgia, but something new, really tugged at your heart. And I get it now. They have newer technology that can do a lot of things to clean things up that didn't exist in 1995. So you get Free as a Bird and Real Love, which has these really raw, naked, stripped vocals that make them sound insanely crisp and clear, which on one hand is cool that they have that technology, but on the other hand, why? The entire identity of these songs was built around the fact that John's not here. And you're hearing him sing from this other dimension with the guys now. That was the entire emotional impact of those songs. And now hearing him so clear with a slightly alternate take on the vocals, just... I know some people dig it, and that's cool, and a lot of people hate it. I get it. The other sin they've committed with Real Love is stripping so many of George's guitar ad-libs. Why were those taken off? Like, you already had Real Love, and you have George playing. Why is there less George? I don't get it. A lot of people have said online that the Beatles should have pushed off releasing Now and Then to be specifically for this. That it would debut on this album. A brand new anthology, a brand new song, that makes sense. Instead, it was pushed out for the 50th anniversary of the Red and Blue CDs, which is cool. That's fine. It's got a place for it. But it kind of makes Now and Then on here uneventful. It's just rounding up another track. My other takeaway with this is, was Klaus not available to do a new album cover? Did anybody ask him? Why did they use the DVD bonus features cover for Anthology 4? This is just the covers to the other 3 albums. And then you're going to call it Anthology 4. Why not make a new album cover? Why not make something that connects to Anthology 3 and shows them like as older guys? Or shows them in the Now and Then video? Or shows them through the 80s and 90s and 2000s? Or shows them how they looked in the 90s during the first set of Anthology movies and CDs? Why? Why is this the cover? I think that's my biggest gripe out of anything. As much as I enjoy this set, the cover is annoying because this is it? No one tried. If somebody at Apple is watching this right now, please leave a comment or email me to let me know why this was chosen as the album cover. Between this and the cover for Now and Then, like, what is going on with the art department at Apple? Like, the most unimaginative, boring pieces of art you could put out. The single for Now and Then should have had a picture of the Beatles on it. And this thing just showcases the other 3 superior albums. I'm sure Klaus would have been totally stoked to draw a new album cover. Was he contacted? Did he say no? Does anyone at Apple know who Klaus is? So anyway... Those are kind of my gripes with Anthology 4. It's mostly, the album cover is a big gripe for me. And how they kind of butchered Free as a Bird and Real Love. I don't know why they bothered messing with those things. They were fine. They were fine. And then taking George off of Real Love, all of his guitar ad-libs, and losing the spookiness, losing the ethereal, ghostly vocals, just for the sake of clarity. Overall, having lived with this record for a couple of weeks now, I did really enjoy it. The first CD is worth the price of admission. There's a lot of new stuff on here we haven't heard before, which is really great to dig into. And disc 2 does take a lot of the best bits from the deluxe editions and throws them on here, which is really cool. But it also shows that there's way more stuff in the vaults for Magical Mystery Tour. So for me personally, digging into this thing, part of this is nostalgia for me, having been there for the first run in the 90s. To hold a new Anthology CD is really cool. I went to the record store on day 1. I bought a copy. I have the Beatles Anthology in my hand. That rules. Content-wise, I'm still going to play this thing. It's fun. As Paul McCartney once said, it's the bloody Beatles. Um, the positives for me certainly outweigh the negatives, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, I'm not playing the album cover. I'm putting the CDs on and enjoying the music for what it is. And reading the booklet, which they did a wonderful job recreating the style and the look of the original booklet. Yeah, for me, this is probably a really strong 7 out of 10. It's the Beatles. So number one, the material is strong. It's the Beatles. But number two, as great as this is, it could have been way greater. They could have made a double disc set of stuff that none of it's been released before. The whole second CD could have been more unreleased stuff. There's a lot to be said about this CD, and I made a video recently about like its price points and stuff. Like, it was expensive. At first, it was part of just the box set, so you had to buy the box set. Then Apple said, okay, we'll put this out on its own. There's been a lot of headaches, a lot of back and forth with this release. And I feel like there's been so much negative talk about this thing that's really just been kind of pushed under the rug. Personally, I really enjoy it. I'm always going to keep playing it. It's the Beatles. It's new stuff that we haven't heard before. It sounds wonderful. I'm going to keep digging it. For me, the Freeze and Burn of Real Love mixes from 2025 are not for me, but thankfully I have the original CDs. I can just go play those other songs the way they were meant to be heard from the 90s. That's good for me. Yeah. 7 out of 10. Pretty fair, if I say so myself. But what do you have to say about the Beatles Anthology 4? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll get chatting about this release. There we go. My name is Giggens. Thank you so much for watching. And again, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with it, totally cool, but don't be mean. Don't be mean. Let's just chat back and forth. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you next time.